love it. That's epic.
A lot of what I'd call, and this is going to be slightly controversial, I guess, but like the average listener tends to typically have beef with the artist, and the reason that happens is because the change occurs, and people go,
People don't like
I don't
change.
like that. But the thing,
I miss your old sound.
the thing that's important about being an artist, when I again was at my most monthly listeners and releasing the music consistently and everything, like I was definitely at my like saddest point in life, you know. And this story has a bit of a sad context to it.
Because I think I'm peaking. Peaking.
Welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. We have another episode of our Artist Spotlight series today. And we also have a question of the day for you guys, which is, how important are visuals to a full... Sorry, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important are visuals for the full experience of a DJ set?
Ooh.
Specifically a DJ set? What about like a tour set or like a personal set, album set?
Sets that I...
Any set that plays electronic music.
I would say zero.
Well, be specific.
Zero because one, they have like coffee shops, you know, where like people be playing at coffee shops, and then of course like just minimal sets where there's only like maybe like strobe lights, like no lasers, but then the lasers are cool too. But like
Depends on the artist, I feel like, you know, because like
100%.
some people are hugely visually reliant.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the whole set. The whole reason you go is for the visuals. But then like you got Skrillex and like ISO, and it's just like logo, lighting. Like you want the focus to be on the guy performing. Right?
Yeah.
100%.
I guess you have to know how to brand it. You have to know how to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's mutually exclusive or like absolutely necessary to have visuals like what you guys just mentioned. But when you plan it that way so that they go together, like for example, Excision is great on his own, but he plans his visuals with his set so it all goes together to create a whole other experience. Yeah. So like there's ways to like, I guess make it so that you can have your set could have more than one experience for your audience.
Totally. I mean, my favorite show I've ever seen, and I call it a show, not just a set, because it was like a movie. It was like Madeon, like his Good Faith tour.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've seen that like 3 times now. And it was like the pinnacle to me, like unlocking, I think, what is the next level of performing, which is like, you know, when he stood on the right side of the stage, the visuals behind him, there'd be like a beam of light on the right side of the stage.
Yeah,
and then if he like put his arm from right to left and did this motion, then the lights in front of him would do that in that same motion. Like you were like watching this whole like movie spectacle. And any picture you take is like completely a wallpaper right there.
So we have a couple. Do you know who Arius is?
Arius? No, I don't.
Okay, so we have basically, I don't know if you keep up with Dancer or anything, but the leader of Poriotics also has a DJ alias with his wife, and they're called Arius. Cool. And they do this like laser show where they literally, Matt, who's half of Arius, will like dress up in this full like basically like a ninja costume. Yeah. And then they'll have like programmed lasers to go like through his hands.
I have seen that.
Yes.
Okay, I do know
Yes.
that. Yeah. I just don't know the name of it.
So that didn't, and they just started implementing this recently. It wasn't originally part of their show, but since they started implementing that, they've just like shot up in terms of,
it's so cool visually. Like it's so striking, right?
Yeah.
To this day, I still think about like how it has to be a laser like in his gloves that he presses a button
I think so.
to make it go out.
Yeah.
Because like they make it seem like it's coming from the ceiling and going through his hand, but I'm like,
well, sometimes
but
it
then
is.
He's moving it, so it
well,
has
no, the thing
to
is,
be.
he's also moving it to stay that synchronized
both,
with it.
like a mix of everything.
I'm sure it's like
It's a really
there's got to be a button or something.
laser.
Yeah. So
It's thought out.
Yeah. So I mean,
For
to answer the question, I guess visuals rely on solely like what the experience that DJ is planning to have. So I mean, if you're in a warehouse where you have little to no visuals, but you have like lights and lasers, then would you also count those as visuals? Right? They're visual. Yeah. So I would say that those would be the visuals. So in that case, I wouldn't say they're too important.
Anything that enhances your experience visually.
Yeah.
I was about to say, go to an experience and have no sound. Have just visuals. You're not gonna
have nothing. Exactly.
You're not gonna have a good
That's
time.
true.
Yeah.
I think
visual only, no sound.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the artist and what you know that you're going into. Yeah.
That's true. Because imagine Excision with no visuals.
Yeah, that just
I
makes
would,
no
I would be
sense.
thoroughly confused.
Well, his detox set honestly has very minimal visuals. It's
Yeah.
not like a whole ass like
Yeah,
but I feel
3D
like-
movie.
But if it's like
detail-
hard hitting, like it's in your face, you're like, I want to see something too.
I agree.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
dubstep. A lot of
Yeah.
dubstep.
It's the
just-
space though too, because like I don't know, like that Madion set I was talking about. I can't imagine that in a 360 warehouse environment
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
yeah, like, you're not gonna be like hearing these emotional tracks.
He's
like,
just
going
like walking
crazy on the rail to
He's
it.
walking
Yeah.
like 2 feet across his little
Yeah,
section
exactly,
of beam of light.
Maybe who knows? Maybe you'd figure it out. But that's what,
Maybe.
it's like. It's the type of experience you're trying to present. I think.
Yeah.
And speaking of the detox set, that there's a lot of nostalgia feeling that comes with it too, though. So I think that's also the factor. It's just like what feeling your audience is gonna have.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're playing a whole bunch of oldies that everyone can sing along to,
Yep.
I promise you they don't need visuals.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and I do think also this brings into question like what count, like we were just saying, what count as visuals, because I could argue that what counts as visuals. What counts? Okay, so all right, grammar police.
English.
So, because I would say that, like for example, Kinjas went on tour with Troy, or I think they were performing with Troy Boy for a little while, where they were like going and performing during Troy Boy's set, because a lot of Troy Boy's songs are what the Kinjas dance to, and I think Troy Boy's even a part of the Kinjas technically, but yeah. He's like an honorary member of the Kinjas.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Interesting.
And so I just think I would count that as visuals, even though it's not lasers, even though it's not flashing lights. Like that's still you
I would count that.
looking at something and it enhancing your experience.
No, I get
count
it, because
that.
when I saw Hans Zimmer, like, yeah, it wasn't like a full visual experience, but he had like lights going on
Yeah.
every time, like he played like Interstellar or like.
I'd count that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say no visuals. It's like when Skrillex plays like in the cafes, like those live streams that he
Yeah.
has. Like that's no visuals. Just him and his friends vibing out, like just mixing together.
Would you consider like not only the stage design but the environment around you to be visuals? Like Lost Lands has a visual appeal to it.
That's true.
I went
That's
to
true.
like Summoning like 2 years ago, Sudden Death Festival,
Oh, the
amazing
cave?
fest. The cave, and like when you're walking into the fest, like they decorated the whole walkway with all this stuff, and it was just like, dude, this is a whole like experience you're walking
Yep.
into.
So
Like, that's a
in-
visual, right?
So in that case, I guess a tangent question: what's more important, the visuals or the setting? So like, I guess the venue. Because if you really think about it, right, we're going burger shops, talking coffee shops, and
Yeah,
DJs are
yeah.
playing that. That is a
The
visual
setting makes it
setting.
dope, yeah.
It's so interesting. You know, a good example of that too is when we went to the Dolby Theater for the Elefante
Yeah.
premiere. Like the music, hearing the music in that theater was really cool. But I just remember thinking the entire time, man, it would be so cool if they had visuals to go with this right now. Like it
Yeah.
would make
Fair.
the experience so much better. That said, I still think that the audio is still going to be more important at the end of the day.
Yeah.
'cause
I
we're
mean, that's
music.
the basis. Yeah, that's the basis of what it is, you know. But
Yeah.
The music doesn't really matter as much in an art gallery.
yeah,
That's
that's
true.
That's
You
true.
know, but it can add to it. It can definitely
Actually,
be a component.
imagine going to an art gallery, complete silence.
That's
People
usually
do
how
that,
they
though.
go. That's
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
how.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually how a
That's
lot
the
of
thing.
people.
Yeah.
At museums.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
there's
museum.
always like a little bit of like.
I go to museums.
I think just in movies where they're playing like a soundtrack over it, where they're in a museum.
I've been to a few museums and art galleries, and there's like a little like sound.
Oh,
Like
really?
'Cause
ambiance.
You want your audience like there's former event planner. There's a whole thing to it. You just have complete silence. People, you want to give them a feeling as they're looking at art.
Have you been to the Getty?
No.
Okay, yeah, they don't play
Yeah, there's
anything.
no
in the
music.
Getty.
Getty's pretty quiet.
Older like history museums, the Louvre in Paris. I went there. They don't play anything.
Yeah, no
during,
music.
Well, it's
Yeah.
and I guess to bounce to bounce off that, if you guys have been to LACMA recently, they have like a playlist.
LACMA.
Yeah,
LACMA.
LACMA.
when you can scan a QR code and they have a playlist for music that you can play when you're looking at certain pieces of art.
Yeah,
That's
because
dope.
certain arts
Yeah.
have like music that goes along with it.
Yeah. I mean, even just people walking around a quiet museum, like with their, earbuds or AirPods on,
Yeah.
listening to tracks, right?
It's a vibe.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
the little
Cool.
things. That's
So I
cool.
guess
So to answer the question, I'm going to give it a 5. Scale of 1 to 10, 5.
I will also give it a 5.
I will also give it a 5.
I'll give it a dependent 5. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Just so you want to be different.
Devin just likes to do a thumbs up, and it looks like a 6.
No, I just think it really does add to the experience. So I would say that if you can add it, it does make it does make it a lot better, in my opinion.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Bren, you never gave us a number.
Well, I said 0, but then you guys did kind of like convinced me that like I guess like a coffee shop is part of the visual experience. So I would say like dependent 5.
Yeah, like close your eyes and just listen to music only. The ambiance, the setting, everything. Yeah.
So we're all in agreement. We're all in agreement. We're all in agreement with like an average 5.2. Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, how about we get a proper intro going?
All right. Anyways, as we said, welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. I am one of your hosts, Devin, and who else do we have here?
I'm Mickie.
I am Nand.
I am Brin.
I am Daniel.
And today, let me just pull up the.
Get ready to be glazed.
Get ready to blush.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to be cooked, bro.
like a donut.
Today on the I'm Peaking podcast, we welcome an extremely talented up-and-coming artist in the melodic bass and color bass scene. His sound, an elegant mixture of crystalline melodies and modern-day dubstep. With releases through esteemed labels like Ophelia Records and Bygore, millions of streams with tracks like Poison, Comet, and his rework of Fireflies, which we played on the podcast, and it was very well received, by the way.
Good.
It's no surprise that he's garnered respect from industry heavyweights like Adventure Club and Chime. And to top all of that, he's also an amazing graphic designer. Seriously, you should go check out his artwork. It's sick. And he's the founder of Zinth Audio, a company developing audio plugins to enhance artists' music production. Did I mention he's also only 23 years old?
Dude.
Go off.
Whoa.
Oh, you're well versed and young. Wow.
How's your sleep schedule? Because I'm trying to balance mine.
Not great most days,
Okay.
but like, that's my own fault.
Sounds about right.
My own
Yeah,
fault.
no, I feel that. Yeah.
So hailing from Toronto, Canada, Paper Skies, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great intro. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Of course.
Do you feel glazed like a donut?
Yeah, I guess so. But I appreciate it. I've said to you guys before we started, this is my first time doing like an in-person podcast.
How do you
which
feel?
feels
Sick.
dope. Great, man. I mean, I get to see the faces directly that I'm talking to. It's a lot weirder, like over a Zoom call to try and communicate the same like
So it's the
conversation.
Would you
emotion.
say it's the environment?
I'd say it's the visuals.
Callback.
Plus you don't have
job.
that, like, the delay of like
And the connection.
on the connection errors.
Oh yeah, the connection's back, I think.
Sorry, what did you say? Can you hear me? Repeat the question.
So yeah.
Well, let's get us starting with a couple questions that we had. One of the first ones was, you're 23 years old, so you're pretty young. Were you a raver before you were in music production?
Well, no, because I was too young, obviously, to be able to do
That's what I
that.
thought.
But man, I was really excited to get into it. I guess I kind of was in a way. So I went to my first music festival ever, which was like Veld Music Festival. It's like a big fest that happens in
We
Toronto.
were talking about
Sorry.
that.
And
You going to Veld?
You going to Veld?
yeah, I'm going to Veld.
The marketing team on Veld, we laugh about this all the time.
Yeah.
All of 2022, every single like EDM creators post had, you going to Veld? You going to
that's
Veld?
so good.
You going to Veld?
But I went when I was like 14, and I went like I said this in a video almost identically, but like I went completely by myself. And
14?
yeah, everyone was coming up to me being like, where's your parents, and all this stuff. And I was like, I came out myself here. I'm in like the Red Bull line to get a drink or something. They're like, you can't get anything. Like, no, it's just Red Bull.
It's just Red Bull.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Man, it was a great
Whoa.
experience. It's because I saw San Holo was on the lineup.
God,
I
I
saw a
love
couple
San.
other guys that I liked as well. And man, I was just eager to step into it, dude. So I tried to as young as I can. I didn't have any friends that were into it. No one at 14 wanted to like go with me. Surprised my family even let me go.
Is Veld all ages?
It is. Yeah, it is.
So when did you start producing? Oh, sorry.
I started producing in June. It'll be my 10th year anniversary. So it'll be a full decade I've been doing
wow.
this.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
go off.
But
Fun fact, just because you said decade and you're here for like a week, San Holo's 10-year anniversary show is next week.
oh, fuck yeah. I don't think I'm going to be around for
Yeah,
that week.
man.
But I would love to go to that, man. That'd be awesome. But that's why it was such a big full circle moment when I got to then play Veld, because it was like 9 years later. And I was on the exact same stage at the exact same time slot as the guy had come to see that year. You know?
Wow. So you're
Manifest.
on the other side now.
Yeah, I was.
I
And
like that.
it was really weird because like I'm really just rephrasing this video that was like on my social media pretty much right now. But like I'm on that stage and I like just spontaneously, it just felt right. Gave a little like speech or a talk to everyone in the crowd, basically being like, yo, if you're young and you're in the crowd and you're making music, like really lock into the shit, do it, believe in yourself, because that full circle moment can happen.
Yeah.
And I did that specifically because that's what San Holo did 9 years previous, is he like dropped the music, came to the front of the stage with the mic and just like talked for a bit. And to this day, I never see anyone do that, and it was just it was such a special moment for me. And to be able to replicate that, I was like, dude, this is like life goal accomplished right
Hell
now.
yeah.
Have you
love
met
that.
Son?
Yeah, I have.
He's such a sweet person.
I came to LA for the first time, and the day I landed, I went to this show that was at Catch One, and they like told me like, they're like, yo, do you want to play too? I was like, sure, if I'm able to. I can't get paid, I can't do anything, but I like went back to back with my friend for a little bit of the set, and San Holo was in the crowd. And I was like, yo, what
So
the fuck,
dope.
dude? Like, he was like the first, he did a meet and greet after too. And I showed him on my phone. I was like, dude, this is the first picture I have in my entire Snapchat camera roll is me with you.
Wow.
And the caption was
Epic.
like, just met San Holo, really want to be like this guy one day.
Wow.
You know?
Oh my god.
Did you let
So
him know
dope.
that? Did you let him know that that you went and inspired a bunch of people, or you tried to do that the
He
same
saw
way?
the post about that later, but that was like 3 or 4 years ago when that happened. So before I was even like in a festival circuit or working with the team or anything.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy experience too. It was just bumping into him first day in LA, my first solo vacation, everything.
Funny how that
Wow.
happens. Doesn't seem like such a coincidence sometimes. Honestly.
Yeah, I think like, you put good things into the world, good things come back.
I
Period.
agree. I want to touch on something you said because I mean, obviously you're from Canada.
Yeah.
So we were curious, like, what the scene is like out there. What's it like being an artist that's not based in the U.S.?
It's there's a lot of challenges that come with it. But the positive, if you're willing to look at it that way, I see a lot of people in Toronto really struggling to get outside of the city and kind of, using social media to voice their concerns with that. And I agree with all of it and I feel all of it, but I also see me being so disconnected from the scene in that way as like an opportunity to develop my brand more before I step into that bigger picture. Like almost being in Toronto, if I just work my hardest every single day and, show up to work every day, keep learning things, eventually I'll be a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
So there's room for me to A, hopefully stand out there, but B, also like represent a place that maybe doesn't get as much representation as it deserves because it has a phenomenal scene and there's some great producers, great people.
We
I
know a
love
lot
the
of
rave
good
scene
producers.
there.
Yeah.
Dead Mouse, Rez,
Yeah.
Dabin, one of our friends, Fairlane, is from there. Zed's Dead.
Yeah, dude, tons of good people, man. And the scene, it's a really beautiful scene. Like everyone knows everyone there because we don't get a whole lot of tourists coming in. So it's like,
Aw.
friends and family as soon as you step into the room, bro. I'm saying hi to like 60 people when I walk in the
That's
door.
awesome. That's so sick.
I love it.
Is would you say that like because the rave scene out there, like what other festivals are even out there that aside from, I know Shambhala's in Canada technically, but what are some of the other stuff maybe that on more of like the west side of
bass
Canada?
music, there's not too much, but we have a lot of like, especially in Toronto, there's a huge focus on like house music, club music, techno stuff. We get a lot of that. And we also have in Toronto one of the biggest like super clubs in the world. It's called Rebel. I've played there a few times now. I did with Dabin, Illenium, Arm & Hammer, all like phenomenal experiences. I love all those guys. They were so good to me.
What makes it super?
What makes it super is that it's like the closest thing that you can get to it jumping from a club to what would you call it? It's like a venue or an amphitheater or a
So it's
stadium.
like the middle kind of ground?
Yeah, I think it does like 3,400 people, something like that.
Okay.
Multi-stages kind of place or?
Yeah, I mean, multi-stages, like multi-rooms, really. They have like their big indoor space. They've got a side room called Noir. They've got like an outdoor patio space too.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's like Catch One, kind of. But
Kind
bigger.
of catch one, but
small.
like
Bigger.
way bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Catch One's a little small. They've
Yeah,
got a
but-
lot of rooms, but it's a
Yeah,
little
that's why
small.
room-
I'm thinking
Totally.
like Bill Graham. Bill Graham.
I've never been there, so
I've never
I
been
don't
either.
know.
Yeah, I
It's
wouldn't
great.
know.
Do you play shows in the US?
Not yet, but I'm going to be very soon. I'm
Cool.
just getting through like figuring out all the legal details to be
Like
able to
work
come here.
visas and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and that's kind of the whole thing that you were saying about like being in Toronto. Is I feel like I've had so much time to develop that I know 100%. I don't say this from a place of ego. I say it from a place of like the amount of failure I've encountered and how hard I've had to work to get to the point that I feel like I am now as an artist in Canada. That like when I hit the U.S. market, like I want to hit it running.
Oh,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that.
Like there's been a lot of time and thought and planning put into what I want to do moving forward, and I'm just so happy to have the opportunity to do
I
it.
respect
Yeah.
that.
You know,
The phrasing I would use, like, it sounds like you successfully failed forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the philosophy I keep is like make it till you make it, you know? Like it's not about chasing success. Skrillex said that. It's not about chasing success, it's about attracting it, right?
Yeah.
And you got to just keep creating through every failure,
Yeah.
you know?
Great attitude to have.
Yeah.
It's a great attitude. I think did any of you guys have anything else to comment on that?
Oh yeah, I want to say, do you think that you would be in a different place in your career if you weren't what is the word that I am looking for? If you were in a different place, do you think that you would have different opportunities?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a lot of friends out in Europe who I think are some of like the best sound designers in the world. And I don't say that lightly. Like when I glaze people, when I speak highly of people, I really mean it. Like I will not use that lightly. And and the barrier for them to get into the States is even harder because the States is where the market's at, or my friends in Asia, or my friends in Australia. So it's like, I know I have a barrier as well being in Canada, but just that saving on the flight cost alone, getting overseas is like such a big opportunity for me that it's like, I don't know, every time I get a good opportunity, like a positive opportunity, a win per se, I'm like, I really need to take this because I know there's so many people that wish they could be in my opportunity. I don't want to let them down.
Yeah, because I know we were talking about, I even asked you earlier that like, would you ever move to LA? And you said no.
Yeah, I'd love to come more and visit more, but I don't think I'd move because I like having my space.
That's
I like
valid.
having my friends, my family around that are totally disconnected from the lifestyle of what it means to be an artist and a creative, because it keeps me grounded. You know, it keeps me making sure that my moral values, my priorities are in place.
That's a good point. That makes sense.
Not that I would completely lose it here, and not to say that they don't have that here.
You do get LA-fied to a certain degree.
There's like something in the air in LA, but I was born and raised here. So
I just know that if I lived here, I would become very, very enveloped in the music, which I already am. But like, you know, I love how simple my relationship is. I love how simple my family lifestyle is back at home. Like being able to completely just step away from it and be in those two worlds coexisting is really nice instead of just being solely in one of them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you because I'm not originally from LA. I actually moved from NorCal, Sacramento, and it's very, very slow there. And when I moved down here, I realized how fast paced everything was. And I think during the first year that I was living here, I got pretty overwhelmed because I wasn't used to the pace at which people worked or how fast things were coming around. And I know a lot of the reasons why I would like visit back home is just to kind of take a break for myself. You know, instead of being overwhelmed.
Like it's obviously because I'm visiting too, but like me being here, I'm here for like a week. Like every hour of every day is like scheduled right now. Like, and it's because in LA you have the ability to do that. There's so much to do.
Things happen 24/7.
But that's what it is. Like I'm taking full advantage of it. But I know if I lived here, like that wouldn't just be a 1 week thing. That would be like
it'd be a whole thing.
Here.
Well, you think you could do that, and then you do it for about a month, and then you stop because you realize that it's keeping you from your work.
Maybe, but I'm already doing that in Toronto too.
Okay,
right? So it's like I just know it would like double down as hard here, right?
You definitely learn very quick. Like, you have to do more than one thing in a day. You know, like I remember back in college, back in NorCal, because I'm also from Northern California. You'd be like, I'd have plans just for that day. It's one thing that I'm doing for that entire day. Now it's like, okay, I have this and then this, and I have to plan for this. And there's like 3 or 4 different things. Like, that's right. There's more time in a day, and I just have to do more things in a day.
I try to do like at least 4 things a day is my general philosophy. Like 3 things that are creative in different categories, whether it be music, graphic design, animation, photography, working on like a font that I'm working on. Like I try to do a bunch of different creative things.
And that
fonts? 4th thing,
he's a designer. He's a graphic designer.
I didn't know he makes fonts.
I'm deep in this shit.
Wait, do you have them on like certain platforms?
Not public yet. Right now, I just use them for my own branding and for myself.
As you should.
I think it's kind of cool to have like exclusive typefaces just for my stuff.
Keep it.
The paper skies lore.
Yeah, the 4th thing is like just relaxing. You know, like making sure I actually have time every day to relax. As well as time every day to work. Because I'll get up at like 8 in the morning, work until like 8 p.m. and then just playing Counter-Strike with my homies. You know?
I love that.
As you should. You need to have like that time set apart from your work so you can stay present.
Totally.
Because then you just get
also
so
to
caught
stay
up.
sane.
That's why me personally, I'll give myself the morning. Like I try really hard. Not always successful. Don't look at my phone. Don't check any emails. Don't check nothing in the morning. Doesn't matter how important it is. I have to give the rest of my day to everyone else anyway.
It takes a lot of energy. You get sucked into it. You know?
So I want to give the morning to me.
Totally.
Well, I think this would be a great opportunity to maybe listen to some music that you're working on right now. Before we start talking about like all the details and the kind of music that you make.
No, I'd love to show you guys. I think this new music that I'm working on is like so much more defining than anything I've put out in the past.
Sweet.
Like I've been like tweeting about it a lot, and it means nothing until it happens, obviously. But I think this year there's going to be a really positive change in sound. I need a type C.
Yeah.
I definitely want to ask you about color bass because I'm a big fan of like color bass.
Yeah, sure.
Is that like your genre that you were consider?
Yes and no. I feel like I got kind of like not pushed into that term because I was accepting of it for a while, but I just want to be known for making the music that I make. You know what I mean? Like not trying to put much of a label on it, and just continue to grow. Like a big thing is, I'll get to this all stuff after. But I did like an album where I was trying to define my sound over the last 10 years, and from now on, I want it to always grow because I think we're always growing as people. It was my album Wireframe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because I was doing all this research.
Yeah, dude,
to make the intro last night.
Okay, so if I play this, does it? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then,
all right, so just give us some context as to what the song's called.
Yeah, so this is a new track off my upcoming, depending on when this comes out, maybe it'll already be out, track on Monster Cat with Micah Martin and Janet Tung.
Micah's our homie.
Micah's our
So
boy.
I'm stoked with it. I'll play the first half through roughly.
Okay,
and then you can put the volume all the way up on there.
Yep, some good old Micah vocals.
Dude, his voice is now so distinct to me no matter what I do.
But we worked together on it. I wrote the lyrics and everything, and we figured that out.
Man, can you turn it up a little bit?
It is up. It's just you have the splitter, so it's.
The truth is, I'm scared to lie. This feeling's all I've known. Can you feel me? You believe me? Think I need me? And you know how hard I tried to fight this on my own. Can you feel me? You believe me? 'Cause I need you by my side. Listen.
Yes. Ah, the glitches. I love it. Fire. Wow.
I love your sound design.
Thank you.
Yeah, the little fills that you
really
always
good.
do in your music. I'm just like, it's like ear tickling.
Yeah,
to my
I
brain.
try to have that
Yeah.
attention to detail. You know, I want it to like feel good on the ears and like sound good too.
I have an album that I just called Brain Tickles.
Dope.
And that'd be something I'd put in Brain Tickles easily.
You can play the whole song too, by the way, if you want to. It's up to
If
you.
you're allowed to.
I'm definitely allowed to. I just got a bunch of other stuff I'd love to.
Oh, yeah,
to
I mean,
show.
yeah,
Show more.
No problem. Unless, do we have another segment later where we're showing stuff? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, so we usually do 2 songs, but you can show us as much as you want. But
Okay.
Yeah, no, by all means.
Okay, I'll
bless
keep
us.
playing this one for now, but I'll tell a little story quickly before it. I know we're gonna run out of time, but so this is with Micah Martin, and then this is with another vocalist named Janet Tung. And what happened was I had finished pretty much all this song besides the second verse, and this song has like a story attached to it where it's about this thing that me and my girlfriend were going through, where we were moving in together and kind of leaving your family to start this new life sort of thing, right? And I wanted to write a song about it. So Micah's verse is about my experience from that, and then I wanted a female vocalist to write my girlfriend's experience from that, right? And I found this vocalist named Janet Tung. Last minute, I needed the song done in a day. They gave me a deadline. And I had planned with this other vocalist, and it didn't work out with her schedule. So I was like, shit, I have a day to find someone to cover this track. How am I going to do this? To ask someone to make the whole track in a day and do it in my vision with my lyrics and everything and sing it correctly. And I found this chick online that my friend just showed me on an Instagram reel and happened to be from Toronto. So I messaged her immediately, was like, yo, are you free today for a studio session? She's like, I've never done a studio session in person before. I was like, no way. So hit her up. She also lived like 15 minutes from me. So I literally picked her up with like a bunch of my homies in the car and everything. We drove down to the studio, wrote the second verse together, did the whole thing live, like all in that whole cycle of a day. And mixed it, mastered it, submitted it, got approved, and we're chilling now. So this is Janet Tung, amazing vocalist.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's a pretty melody.
Her voice.
Yeah, so good.
I believe you and I need you. Full throttle looking in the past, but I still don't think you see that I feel you, I believe you, and I need you. The Truth is, I'm scared to lie. This feeling's all I know.
And I love them together. Like,
Yeah,
both
they're really good.
Oh,
I have goosebumps.
I tried to fight this on my own. Can you feel me? You believe me? 'Cause I need you by my side.
Guys.
Oh, that takeout was nuts.
Whoa!
Oh, I love that.
I think this bit right here is my favorite, honestly. And I've got that little bit of my own vocal, like at the very end there in the verse.
Oh, yeah,
I was
I
gonna
heard
ask.
it.
I could kind of hear it in the background a little bit.
It was nice. Just wanted to get, as many different vocals in there as I can. That's the focus on a lot of the songs.
yeah.
Just make it as much collaboration as possible.
Oh, the outro.
Wow, so pretty.
Wow.
Beautiful melody.
That was
Thank
so
you.
Bravo.
nice.
Is it out yet?
By the time this comes out, it might be out, but
Period.
it's not out right now. It'll be on my
Okay.
new album, Canvas, coming out on Monster Cat.
Hell yeah.
Ah.
So you mentioned that you have an EP coming out, and it's called Canvas.
Canvas, yes.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit like what that's about and
Yeah,
what
totally.
your goal with
this might be
that
somewhat
is?
of like a long-winded answer too. So I feel like I got about 7 years into making music, and my stats were at an all-time high that they had been at so far because I was releasing so consistently, like
Yeah.
a song every month, a song every 2 months, sort of thing. But it didn't really feel too great. And it was because I felt like I had shifted from my values in music from when I started compared to that point, where I wasn't doing it because I loved it. I was doing it to create a product that I knew would sell well, essentially. If you want to talk about it in like a business term, right?
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
I asked myself, like, what am I? What do I want to be? And the answer I came up with was, I want to be an artist. And then I started asking myself, well, what does it mean to be an artist? And that was the whole concept, like the whole thesis behind the first album that I wrote, Wireframe, which is like, what does it mean to be an artist? Like, not a producer or a painter or photographer, all the words that get associated with it, but like just solely that word. And I took 4 years off of releasing consistently. I was like a release sporadically here and there to focus on this album, and more importantly, focus on the message. It was less about the music and more about like getting myself in a good artistic state so that I would fall back in love with what I was doing. And I did that, and I made this album, and I called it Wireframe because I think it was like the foundation of what I've been building. Like, a lot of my music was inspired off of my youth playing video games and being inspired by just like gaming sounds. So I created a lot of like headphone music, like stuff you listen to at home when you're gaming and doing stuff. But as I naturally got older, in the same way that artists progress, you get inspired by different things. And I'm going to festivals for the first time after COVID and like enjoying the rave lifestyle and like hearing all these new sounds and meeting all these new people. And I was like, I want to start changing this up. So I created this album as like a farewell project to that sound, and to say like, obviously I'm going to keep my style. Like, that doesn't change in me. I'm still me. But it's time to mature in life in the same way I want to mature in my music. And that's what Canvas is now. It's like the Wireframe has been established. I've asked that question, what does it mean to be an artist? And now I'm working towards becoming an artist. I'm working towards becoming that thing that I strive to achieve. And Canvas is all about painting a blank slate and putting some familiar but new color on that wall, and creating something a little different, but still reminiscent.
There's a lot of intention with that.
A lot of intention behind this project and everything I've planned for like the next few years. I've really like planned out a big, 7 to 10 year roadmap for myself that I'm excited to kind of start rolling through. And I believe I can do it,
Hell yeah. So you have a really strong mindset. I'm curious, do you like re-listen to any podcast or?
I think just good conversations with friends and trying to ask people real questions. Like when I've been so lucky to be in the room with some real heavy hitters in the music scene, whether it's in electronic music or not, like my main focus isn't like plugging my shit or like trying to just glaze them. It's like actually asking questions. Like, what do you think was the most pivotal moment in your career that defined your success? Like, are you happy doing what you're doing? And when you ask questions that are deep like that, like you get into deep conversations pretty quick. Like I've had some people like, I'll ask that question, like, are you happy doing what you're doing? And like these artists get real personal with me right away, which is like, you know, it's funny, but it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It's so nice when you get to open up with someone that's achieved what seems like that big world of success and to like get into their headspace and learn things so that you either follow the same road that they did or learn from their mistakes without having to go through them yourself.
Yeah. So they're like your mentors in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone that I've spoken to. And more importantly, I mentioned this before we started, like how important like my family and my friends are to me that are like separate from this whole music world, because they have a lot of experience of their own, you know, like I'm born into this family. They set up this life for me to be able to explore music and have that opportunity here in North America. So I want to take it with, you know, as much seriousness as I can, like make sure every moment counts.
You said that Canvas is like your farewell to that
Wireframe is the farewell.
A Wireframe is the farewell. Got it. Okay, Canvas is the new.
Yes, Canvas is
Got it. So what would you like if you had to like categorize those two, I guess as far as style goes, what would you say? What's the old, what's the new?
Wireframe, the old, is all about just making music that sits nicely on the headphones and is like fun, something you can play video games to, something that like, that's my old music in general. Wireframe was keeping that same sound and the same thing I'd been doing all those years, but making it a little bit more serious in the way of storytelling. Like I wrote all the lyrics on Wireframe, and the progression of the album step by step, I've never really like dug into it in like an interview podcast scenario. And I think it'd be too much to talk about now even, but every song represents one step in my journey leading up to the point that I am now making Canvas.
Wow.
So it was like still that same sound, but now with Canvas, I describe it as like, it's a lot more energetic. It's a lot more intentful in terms of like the audience that I want to show it to.
Yeah.
But it's intentful in the reason of like, when I'm playing shows, I want to have some really dope moments. And dope moments, not because I care about what the crowd thinks, but because I want it to feel dope for me. Like I want to be like up there, like losing my mind to my own track. Because that's gonna like get fed like into the audience.
Because if people see you having fun, they're gonna have fun.
Exactly.
Who talks about this? Rick Rubin talks about this, where he's like, I don't make the music for other people. I make it for me.
Yeah.
And
have
for
you read
me
his
to
book?
enjoy it. No, but I saw the interview that
book.
he did, I think with Lewis Howe on the School of Greatness podcast.
Like growing up, it was all like Virtual Riot, Chime, AU5. But I mean, then I
see a lot of that influence.
Like three really good
like phenomenal producers, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, and then it was funny because growing up, like a lot of people, like when rhythm was first becoming a big thing, they were like, dude, this music is like the easy route. Like there's not a lot of technicality in it. And from a producer standpoint, being surrounded by a bunch of other phenomenal producers that focus most of their time and energy on sound design, mixing, mastering, like the technical aspects. When rhythm first became this thing, it was like, oh, dude, this music's a shortcut or whatever. But then you go to an Infect set. And you're like, yo, this is crazy, bro. Like this is a life-changing experience. Like I'm going harder to this than I would any of the technical stuff I was focusing on before.
Yeah.
And that's what like spawned that growth in myself and my sound too. Is because I'm like, I want to be a part of this. Like this is what I'm going crazy to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I was gonna say your music reminds me, because I love how glitchy it is, right? And I was gonna say, I don't know if this was one of the artists you used to follow at all, but did you ever listen to Edit?
Edit, no.
Edit's music, I highly recommend. So Edit was like really popular back in like friggin' 2008, 2009, and he would make what was termed at the time as glitch hop.
Yeah.
And he has one song that's
dope. I was raised on that.
Oh, okay, yeah, sweet.
Sure.
So that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, he had this one song called Ants that was like super popular, and there's actually this dancer, his name, he goes by J Funk, who made a tutting video to that song, and it went like super mega viral.
Yeah.
And that was how a lot of people got like introduced to that style of music. So I think it's really interesting that that seems to be like a very common theme, I would say, in your music. Would you describe that as like kind of your sound, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, like that's what when I was defining what it means to be an artist, I came up with like a rough answer, right? And a huge part of that is storytelling, being inspired, and showing change. Like those are the three main things that I would say, where to be an artist, you are a storyteller. Like the only reason that AI can't do what an artist does is because AI doesn't have to make the choice in the morning between like cornflakes or Cheerios. You know? like all those little nuances and all the things you experience and the people that you talk to.
The emotions too.
Yeah, it creates your own unique story that is different from everyone. Like no matter like how much someone might sound like me or look like me or dress like me or talk like me, you're not me, because every moment of our day we're thinking differently and making different decisions. So that was the first thing. Second thing is like inspiration, like being inspired by the world around you, the things you see and hear, and then knowing, okay, I really like, for example, Mahasuwan. What do I specifically like about Mahasuwan? I love his visuals. So I'm going to grab that. I really like Night Punk, you know, and his like sound design, his drum cuts. I'm going to take that and I'm going to take this and this and this from these people and squish it all together. And that's like me, right?
Yep.
And then lastly is change, which is like, you are going to keep finding new inspirations. You're going to keep changing. You know, you're going to have a traumatic moment in your life that's going to reshape you, and you're going to have a huge success in your life that's going to reshape you. And you need to show that change in your music. And like any artist, not a producer, which is no shame if you're just a producer. I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but like if you're an artist, listen to an artist's album 10 years ago and listen to their album 10 years later. It's completely different. Like listen to Porter Robinson even. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Or my boy Zed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right? Like there's a huge change. So I'm getting off topic now, but that's what I want to do with my sound is it's like show change. Like I was inspired by a lot of that old gaming stuff and that made me a sound, but now I'm inspired by a lot of heavy dubstep and rhythm. So I have that, but I'm not trying to be the people that I hear when I'm on stage. And I think that's what makes me and any artist unique, is that I'm starting from a completely different point A and then getting to point B. It's going to sound completely different than the people that were to start in that niche, right?
So,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so overall, how would you describe now, you know, your new EP Canvas? How would you describe that as the, like, what is the overall inspiration for Canvas? Yeah, I mean, the inspiration is combining all the inspirations, and like I kind of said earlier.
So like alignment, you would say, like
everything feels like there's a focus now. Like I know what I'm really doing now.
You finally have like your North Star.
Yeah. It's a lot heavier. It's a lot more intentful. It still has my melodic, glitchy, you know, sound to it. I'm still gonna keep all those little production fills where it's like the ear candies and stuff, but I also want to simplify it a little bit more so I can show it to, you know, my family or people that aren't into EDM. They'll be like, oh, I get it. And most importantly, like every single song on Canvas is going to have a live VIP of it that I'm only playing live and not
I love that.
Sick.
So that way you get completely different experiences depending on the context of where you're listening to it. Right?
That's such a beautiful thing too. Just everything you just described, because one of the main reasons that I love my favorite artist is Zed, and one of the main reasons I love Zed so much is that he's been able to keep this consistent sound yet still try new things and move forward in the scene. He didn't just stick to the same old thing before. And I know a lot of people go back and forth on whether or not like that was the right decision or whatever. But I mean, you speak so genuinely as from an artist standpoint of like, you know, we can't always, not everyone just wants to stay the same and keep making the same exact thing over and over, right?
Yeah.
People change. Like fundamentally as human beings, we change over time. You know, you're not the same person you were 7 years ago. I think it literally takes 7 years for you to completely like your cells to regenerate. So I think that's super interesting, and I think that's a really cool thing, and it's really admirable that you're like sticking to that, but you're embracing the change completely.
A lot of what I'd call, and this is going to be slightly controversial, I guess, but like the average listener tends to typically have beef with the artist, and the reason that happens is because the change occurs and people go, I don't like that. But the thing,
I miss your old sound.
The thing that's important about being an artist, and my huge focus in my own life that made me like that whole Wireframe album, when I stepped away from music and made it, God, I became a lot happier. You know, and that's the focus now. Is success does not mean being on the biggest stage or having the most numbers. Like if Canvas flops, great, dude. I don't give a shit. Like all I care about is knowing that I made this project that's making me so happy, and I think other people are gonna fuck with that too. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Again, like Rick Rubin says, man, you make this shit for you, and then the people decide if they like it or not. Typically, I think if you really do enjoy that project as much as you say you do, chances are other people will probably enjoy it too.
100%.
They'll feel it.
Yeah,
you'll find the right audience for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is an audience for pretty much everything. And it might not be the target audience that you've had in the past, but there will be new listeners and a fresh audience that will go and enjoy what you have made.
I mean, going back to that like Skrillex quote, like the success will attract itself. It's not something 100%. That I'm striving for. I'm not like, oh, if I do this, it'll work out because this is trending right now, so I should be doing this. Like, nah, dude. Like, I'm gonna just let it come, and I'll be patient, and I'll take as long as it takes. But I know when or if it comes, it's because I'm doing me, and people like that, and they see that, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I know Flex Pavilion had said something when he was on here prior, is that when he first made I Can't Stop, it was not like, it did not trend, or it was not popping for a few years.
People walked out of his sets when he would play it.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. He said that it was not well received, but then a few years later, it just popped off.
In fact, he said that, he said that's how most of his songs actually did. Dude. They would not, none of his songs were instant hits.
Which is ironic because I Can't Stop is like a freaking legend song in this scene. Yeah.
If Flux is somehow seeing this, bro, I love you for that. That's awesome. Like, that's the shit that inspires me, man, is hearing those stories,
Well, I think we have here on the agenda that there is this crane photo that you took.
Yeah.
So and I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it already, but
no.
I have not. Is it you? Is that you on the?
Yeah, it's me. It's the pin post on my Instagram. It'll probably always be the pin post.
So basically, it's him on a crane.
I'm gonna just. I can't see that. I'm gonna just.
Wait, I need a. It's so small.
Here,
if I'm gonna describe it for the people at home, unless a photo pops up, it's me
have the photo
hanging off the side of a crane, holding a flag with the Wireframe logo on it, which is now my brand logo.
First of all, how were you allowed to get up there, or did you just get up there?
Yeah, I kind of just got up there.
As you should.
So. Back when I was like younger,
you should climb cranes.
Before I was 18, this photo is like more than 5 years old now, I think.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Which goes to show again how much I've been planning this thing, to try and make sure that this next set of albums matters.
I love how you plan like long term.
You're very intentional.
Yeah.
I try
You're
to
very
be.
intentional. You're very well spoken too.
Yeah. But I was like, I think
sorry. This is epic. This is epic. Oh my God. This is a man who knows what he wants. He's going to fucking get it.
Brinda.
Go off.
But like, I think when I, again, was at my most monthly listeners and releasing the music consistently and everything, like I was definitely at my like saddest point in life, and this story has a bit of a sad context to it, but it's like, you don't really fear like, death or consequences when you're just like not in a good headspace, because it's like, what's the whole point of everything?
100%.
But I was like going on all these crazy expeditions because it would just get your heart racing, and I'd be so excited about it. And it just felt like being up there. This is all a part of the whole Paper Sky's name too. Like I've always had a fascination with the sky and heights and just the idea of going to space and all these things, right?
Is that where Paper Skies comes from?
Absolutely, it's where it comes from. Which is like whenever I was on those rooftops or on those cranes, just sitting up there with a great group of friends, I'd be having these super heartfelt conversations, sitting on a crane, watching the sunrise. And after having this whole journey where we're like scouting out the building and climbing up all these floors by foot, and you're like exhausted and you're so tired, and you get to have this moment where you just sit with whoever you're with and like connect on such a deep level while watching the sun come up and taking photos together. And it was just like the most fun that I would have back then. Like I loved doing it, and I wouldn't do it now because I recognize how you shouldn't be doing that. I do not condone
I was like, wait, you went up on cranes just for fun?
Yeah, we just to take photos.
It was an era.
Wow. I was in my photography era.
Gotcha.
That I just thought it was super cool to try and get photos that I knew no one could get. Like I'd always be like up there thinking like, yo, I'm in the 0.01% of people that have done this shit. Like, that's so dope. Like I love that exclusivity of it. And yeah, looking back, it's not something I would ever do again. It's not something I would ever endorse. But it was a time in my life that taught me a lot and got me to this self-reflective state where I'd begun planning. Like I wasn't a planner before. Like my teachers growing up would always tell me like, Daniel's good in school and he tries hard, but he's not organized at all. And that was always my problem. And then I'd be putting out all these releases, but there was no organization to it. I was just doing it to do it. And I finally got to step back, really humble myself, and in a way, come back down to earth and start from ground zero again, and just like make sure that if I'm going to tackle life again, I'm going to do it very, very organized. I want to have intent in what I'm doing and make sure that the steps I'm taking matter to me and the people around me.
You're doing a damn thing.
And when there's clarity, I feel like you're just more proactive.
Yeah.
And you get shit done.
Totally.
And in the right way, in the way that you want it to get done.
But that's why when I did Wireframe, I cleared my whole social media, and that was the first post that I posted, because that was such a critical moment in my life. It's the only time I'd ever actually like climbed a crane and done that. And man, it was heart racing and it was scary, but there's something beautiful looking back on that, you know, and seeing that. And I'm like
I did that.
This is my foundation. Like my foundation was being a risk taker and trying to do things different. And that's when I had lost myself. It's when I stopped doing that. And it's like, it's time to get back into that headspace, time to take these risks in a safer environment. Yeah. And just do what I love, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely risky, and I believe it's also against the law.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, like, did you ever have any close calls? Any like?
Yes and no. Like, yes, there were like times where like workers would sometimes see us and be like, "Hey," and we'd be like, "Sorry," then we just get it. But also I was like underage doing all this stuff, which was worse.
Oh wow.
But better in the way that like I guess like if I had gotten arrested, you know, they would just call my parents and probably fine me a shit ton. Versus like now the consequences are like huge, and that's not even my reason for not doing it. I just wouldn't do it because it's just stupid. It's just really dumb. But
well, you got that photo.
I got the photo. Yeah, I got the craziest photo of my life that will never be taken again. That was a one-time opportunity.
I wanted to pivot a little bit to, you know, because I think a lot of the music that you make, it's obviously melodic, and I think one of the questions we wanted to know too was where, especially in the direction that you're going, where do you see the future of melodic EDM? Because right now, you know, there's techno, there's house, drum and bass has come up a lot, albeit like melodic drum and bass, and then also just more of like the UK drum and bass. But where do you really see the future of melodic EDM right now in 2025?
Yeah, I think like melodic music in general is like storytelling music because you're writing melodies and trying to create like an emotion. And equally, music that isn't melodic is still storytelling. You hear, you know, a really dark, ambiguous ambience that's not like even in a key of music. Like it still has a feeling to it, like a tangible feeling. But melodic music, generally speaking, gives you a lot of tools to be expressive, right? And we define melodic music in a lot of categories, but really it's just songwriting, right? Like what I'm trying to do now, especially with my intros, like a drop is still a drop. That's what defines dubstep, is having a drop, having that rhythmic moment where you can flow with the music and get into it. But with the intros especially, I want to do a lot more storytelling, which is I think, you know, you're hearing in these new songs, especially on Canvas, and be inspired by a lot of people in pop, a lot of people in R&B, hip hop, which is like all industries I've worked in as well before, like behind the scenes. There's just so much room for melodic music to grow and expand EDM. Like I made a tweet about Ba the other day. If you've heard of him, he's a real underground SoundCloud hero that collaborated with Marshmello on his Rhythm EP, which was awesome to see him on there. This like real underground name with a figure like Marshmello, and the whole rest of the EP was all these big rhythm artists, right? But when you listen to that guy's music, it's so unstructured to the confines of dubstep. It just has like an emotion, like you don't feel like you're listening to a dubstep track. It feels like a disservice to say that. And that's like what I see as the future of melodic music. It's like writing stuff that it doesn't need to be called dubstep or melodic dubstep or color bass or this or that. Yeah. It's just, it's music and it's the story that only you can tell that makes you special. If you asked ChatGPT to make a song, you know, a melodic bass banger in the style of X artist, you're going to get that, right? That's true. But there's so much more that you can do with music as a musician. There's so much more expression to be had. Like don't limit it to a prompt, you know?
Yeah. So the future of music is going to be music that de-niches itself.
Yeah, just music that tells a story. Music that, you know, only that specific motherfucker can write, you know? Like
fuck the labels.
I love that quote. Only music that specific motherfucker can write.
Put it on a shirt.
There you go. Do you have merch? Because you graphic design.
Kind of. Okay, so I want to get into fashion one day real bad, but a big part, like I've been saying about the planning, is doing things when the time is right.
Yeah.
Like if I say one, like to myself right now or in this podcast, like I believe if I keep working hard and I show up to work every day and I show commitment and love and passion what I'm doing, I can be one of the best artists in the world at what I do. If I say that, people watching, maybe some of them will agree because of the milestones that I've achieved so far. If I said it 10 years ago, nobody would be listening to me. They'd be like, okay, look at this cool, delusional kid. Good. Have your hopes up. Wish the best for you. But if you watch a clip like that 10 years from now, maybe there's a chance that they're like, yo, that's why he made it, because he believed in himself from the start. So it's the same thing with the merch. It's like, I'm going to take my time with it. I want to get into like designing clothing, but I want it to be done well. I'm not trying to do it for sales. I don't want to just make this or make that. Like, I want to make some shit that's like actually cool in the same way I want my music to be actually cool. I want people to connect with it. Right?
Spoken like a true graphic designer.
Yeah. So I'm going to take my time with it, but I'll throw my hoodie off real quick. I am wearing a shirt right now. This is like a 1 of 50.
Let's see.
Oh, wait.
I have to like squeeze
You
my
might have
eyes.
to.
I don't
You
have
might
my
have to
glasses.
repeat that into the mic.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that looks sick.
Is there a
That's
back?
a 1 in 50. I just designed
Oh, I love
this.
the back too.
Is there a back? Let me see the back.
Yeah.
Take off your
This
shirt.
is it's
That's
giving
gonna
fabric.
count.
It's giving fabric of the universe.
Yeah.
It is giving fabric.
So
Very
I'm wearing.
I love
That's
that.
also so funny. Look at even the symbols are very similar.
Hell yeah.
In case it
Go
went
off.
out of focus, I think we should just prop a picture on it too.
Yeah, a picture.
Just-
Of
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that's super dope.
But yeah, this is like the Wireframe logo here. And the reason it's that logo is because this is part of my font that I designed, the first font that I ever did. And the W is just this shape, but with the lines connected at the bottom. Right? So everything ties in that
Fire.
way.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna buy some shit for sure.
Really inspired by, right now, like biggest inspiration would be like Ghost Hardware, Safe Haven, Insane
Safe
Designer
Haven.
does a lot of stuff in the EDM space. Ann Gorski, amazing. Tons of different designers, especially stuff that I've seen in school. I go to a lot of museums and art galleries as well. I'll try and take inspiration from different places.
Yeah. Yeah, they are really inspiring to go to art galleries because
Yeah, dude.
I just recently started a clothing brand and
Oh, sick.
yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. I'm like going to these art museums. I just fucking go by myself.
Yep.
And they're just so inspiring to just see the abstract work because I do cyber sigillism, so it's very abstract and it's great to just see like other art forms and just like combine.
Yeah, like you got to go in with intent too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. Like I've been watching a lot of documentaries recently about like successful musicians and watching their history. And you can watch it and be like, wow, good for this person. What a cool clip. But if you watch it as a study piece and you're like, okay, how is this person talking to other artists in the studio? How are they networking? How are they creating their art? What's their process like? And you study it, like there's so much to learn from that.
Top
And
down.
it's the same
there's-
thing. When you go to a museum, like the reason why you see like motherfuckers like going looking right at the piece right in front of their eyes is like they're trying to see the texture work.
Yeah.
Like, was this a brush stroke or did they get like a rag and like whip it against
Yeah.
the painting? Like
Yeah.
there's different feels and aesthetics to paint and drawing and everything that you can get just by seeing like the way that they did it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually never really thought about it that way.
I just started learning how to paint this year for the purpose of the Canvas album. So
Yeah. So if you ever
That's
see
sick.
anyone doing that, they're not crazy. They are just
it's
trying
just
to
the
understand.
process, bro.
Yeah.
That's like me on my computer. I'm like,
It's still
Yeah,
both. It's
yeah.
definitely both. You're still crazy.
Yeah.
That's true. You're just
For
crazy
sure,
in a
for
different
sure.
way.
Yeah.
Different kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Could you give us
exactly.
a little timeline? Because you said this has been a 10-year project.
Yeah.
You know, from because you do music, graphic design, sound. You do synth
Yeah, so I if I'm gonna like do a list of skills, I'm gonna sound like I'm glazing myself 100% right now. Music, which includes like sound design, mixing and mastering. I do all that stuff myself. Graphic design includes making typefaces, making custom brushes, doing a lot of iconography, logos, things like that. I grew up doing a lot of posters for promoters before I was even of age too. I would just reach out and be like, yo, can I design your poster for you? Can I come to the show?
hell, you're always
You don't have your
hustling
ID,
from the
right?
from the very beginning.
Yeah, from the start.
Hell
The day
yeah.
I started making music was also the day I started designing because I made my first song in FL Studio on the demo. And then I made a SoundCloud account that day, uploaded it to SoundCloud, made the art for it in Photoshop. My first time ever designing something in Photoshop. The song's called First Attempt. It's private, but I can send a link to whoever asks, I guess. Yeah. And it was the day I started everything. But yeah, that photography, animation, videography, a lot of lighting work. Like I try to just anything creative that I want to do for my project, I need to understand it. And I think that's like the business side of me talking. Like my family is very focused on like entrepreneurship. That's what they do a lot of their work. And it's like, I see how they understand every facet of their business so that when they're hiring someone, they know the right things to say. And because I'm not hiring anybody, I'm doing everything myself right now. Like, dude, I better understand what I'm doing. Because if I consider myself a professional, I got to be professional in every avenue, you know?
Do you plan to hire?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Down
yeah.
the road when things get too busy, which I think inevitably they will.
Yeah.
But that's why I need that that knowledge on it. Is I need to make sure I hire the right people that are going to be able to produce what I see, and we can do it in a collaborative way where I'm not like, I'm just your boss. Like I love collaborating with people.
Yeah, and it's hard because given that like you have basically the lead in your artistic vision, when you hire someone for your artistic vision, it's hard to like give that up.
Yeah, it was when I was younger, but I think post Wireframe album, I've learned to do that really well. Like I love collaborating with people. And I'd much rather work with someone that has their own vision than someone that's only going to produce my vision, because then there's no room for expansion. I'm hitting a glass ceiling in terms of what I'm capable of because I'm not learning from others.
I like the way you think on that. Yeah,
it's not collaborative at that point either.
Exactly. Yeah, it needs to be a collaboration. You know.
Well, we're almost at the end of this segment. I would love to hear another track that you got for us.
Yeah, I got you. One more.
Yeah, and we can definitely also play more in the bonus as well, which we will be doing right after, by the way. So
if you guys want to listen to more, check out the Patreon.
This is another track off the album. This one, based on our schedule, might not be out. It's called Believe Me, and it's a song that's very important to me. It was the first heavier dubstep track that I ever made, and it's really just asking my audience and putting a lot of emotion into the track of like showing the journey that I've been through, the intense moments, the highs, the lows, and asking people like, yo, I really believe in myself now. I really think I can do this music thing.
Yeah.
But you know, do you have that belief in me too? Right. So here's the track. And this segues into the previous songs. Every song.
Oh, nice. Also, like, I love transitions.
Yeah.
Love.
Ooh, the crickets.
Just believe in me.
I love that.
I think this part might be one of my favorite melodic things I've ever written. I can't wait to play this out live more.
Really setting the scene. I love it.
This would go hard live.
Yeah.
I could already imagine it.
I love it. That's epic.
Definitely a virtual riot finger guns moment.
Yeah.
That's so epic.
Just believe in me.
Okay. That's sexy.
I'm trying to make sure with a lot of these that the sub just feels good. Like live. When you hear it, it's moving around a lot, you know?
Sub-bass frequency you could actually feel.
Yeah.
The fills.
The water.
Yeah. And this is the part where you get on the mic as the DJ and tell people to open up the mosh pit.
Open up the pit.
Listen to him.
That's fire.
And that is Believe Me.
Bro,
That's awesome.
I have no
so
words.
crazy.
My,
the sound
my
design
brain,
go crazy,
yeah,
bro.
my brain's still processing everything.
If there's anything that I could describe it with, it's like ear candy. Like that, just all-encompassing
Just ear
ear
candy.
candy. It's fire.
Also, shout out to Shivers, Hamro, Blank Space, Squishy, Phase 1, Muerte, Eliminate in the background of this audio here.
Oh, wow.
This is audio clips from my phone. I love littering them across the project.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. So much detail.
And would transition into By My
Yeah.
Side.
Wow.
That'll go crazy in the gym.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that. That was
I'm
that was
so
sick.
excited for this album.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I'm excited to
appreciate
listen to more in the Patreon, which,
sure.
by the way, we have a Patreon. Time for the best transition of all time. So we are at the end of the episode. We are going to hop into the bonus episode right now. If you didn't already know, we have a Patreon. I'll have everyone's names on screen here, but we do
Super
bonus
cool person
content.
right here.
We do
Super cool person right there.
we do we basically just go on there and talk about other things. We
spill
listen
the
to some
tea.
music. We also do exclusive playlists. We do early access episodes. So definitely go and check it out. It's the best way to support us. And do you want to let anyone know what else you have coming up aside from Canvas, obviously?
Yeah, I'll say real quick for anyone that's going to watch the Patreon, I'll be way more controversial. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'll play some unreleased stuff that isn't on the album that might never see the light of day. So we'll do some fresh stuff that's just for the sets. But in terms of coming up, yeah, Canvas is coming up. Going to be announcing some shows, some fests in the States, which I'm so excited to finally get into that market now. And I just I urge you guys to come pull up to a show one time, man. I really want to impress you, and I think I'll be able to provide a pretty cool, unique experience.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mickie, you do the boom boom.
Oh shoot, that's hard. I was not prepared for that.
Well, thank you to also to one of our sponsors, Boom Boom, which, if you didn't already know, scented nasal sticks that you can use on a variety of different occasions, including helping with anxiety, giving you a bit of an energy boost at a festival, helping with nausea, all those kinds of things. We love Boom Boom. They've been a huge supporter of us, so thank you so much. Definitely go and check them out. And if you guys decide to buy any, we do have a code. I'm peeking, and you can also pick up one at a local CVS or on TikTok Shop. So definitely go and check them out.
Yeah, just like his music being ear candy, this is nose candy. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not.
No, it's not.
That's not.
We're gonna take it
It
back.
smells good. It smells good.
Wrong context.
All right.
Crazy time. My cousin yesterday, I was like, yo, what do you keep on yours? He's like, oh, it's this Boom Boom stick. I was like, why? What does it do? He's like, I got a huge headache right now, bro. It's been helping me crush it all day. I'm like, sick. So
There you go.
It helps with
organic
migraines.
sponsor right there.
Yes.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for making it this far. We appreciate you guys. Nand, if you want to close us out.
See you in the Patreon.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment.
Dubstep.
See you guys. Bye.